prior, but I never really had a, a talk with Mr. Brooks, legend in Stephen Decatur. Um, he called me out. See how much time I got, and he called me out. He called me out in my class, and he's having his talk with me, and he's telling me about the history of blacks on Ocean City, and he's like, well, there used to be only a certain time where blacks could come, and I think it was like Black Friday. I would like, I want to say Black Friday, but it was another day too. I don't want to ironically say Black Friday was the only day black people come out there, but there were certain days, and if anybody knows Ocean City, Maryland, where the inlet where the bus station is, that house, I think it's still there. The Brown House was a historic African American house where all the famous musicians used to come because colored only houses back then. But he was telling me all this stuff, and he didn't know at the time that I knew all this. First of all, because I was a young scholar since I was a kid, and my mom, my beautiful mom, she has been in the NAACP for 44, excuse me, for over 40 years. So shout out to my mama Mildred. So he's telling me all this. I'm like, why is he calling me out of class? And he's telling me this shit. So we go to the cafeteria. So he takes me out of English class. He takes me to the cafeteria, and we have this talk. And he's telling me, man, look, there's a lot of things been going on. Stephen Decatur was known for a lot of racial tension, and certain things in that school that I spoke out upon. I felt that the white kids were being treated better than a lot of the black kids at the time, and I was very outspoken about that. And they zeroed in on me on that, and that I remember that day before Mr. Brooks took me out, or the day before, a young lady told me there was a fight, and I stayed in Ocean City at the time, so I wasn't even there. And there was a fight, black kid versus white kid, and our principal told, for y'all who knew our principal, I just say his last name, Taylor. He told all the black kids to go home. She told me, he said, all you guys go home. And when he said you guys, he pointed that way. So, and I'm like, that's crazy. So I'm like, that's, nothing new there. And even after I graduated, still 20 years, like close 20 years later, there were racial tension in Stephen Decatur. It's never really been addressed, but I'm going to tell my story, ain't got too much time. So I'm like, why is he telling me this? Boom, boom, boom. But, I'm starting to put one and one together. So we're in this cafeteria sitting, and here comes the principal, Mr. Lou Taylor. Fuck it, I said his name. Mr. Lou Taylor. So, Mr. Lou Taylor, and much respect to Lou Taylor, great principal, much respect to them. He sits me down at the cafeteria. It's me, him, and Mr. Brooks now. He sits me down, and he's telling me, this is exact words, he says, you are leading a racial cult. My principal in Stephen Decatur High School sat me down right beside Mr. Brooks, so I end up having his class like a year later, I do believe, senior year, which is a great teacher. One of the reasons why I feel like I'm so hip to like just learning and knowing what the latest is, science. He definitely pushed us to learn. What did you learn today? What did you learn? So much respect to him. So I'm sitting there with Mr. Brooks and the principal at that time of Stephen Decatur, Mr. Lou Taylor, and he's telling me that I am leading a racial cult and that he wants me to stop. And I'm telling him, sir, I'm not leading a racial cult. I just maybe briefly spoke about a few things. Now, after I spoke about a few things, I guess a lot of things became clear. A lot of shit started happening. Became a thing in my life. I foreshadowed things, and the outcry was just too much, and so I got pinpointed. And I said, so when the reason I tell this story is because it's not about hating this color or hating that color. It is about knowing what is right and knowing what is wrong, and not being silenced. And when you have a voice, especially when you know what's right and being justified, especially in a situation like this, when racism has taken over and continue to take over, and nobody steps up and nobody comes to the plate. It's been a theme not just in my life, but a lot in my, not just my life, but in people surrounding me, white and black. White and black. The elephant in the room. And it's white versus black, white versus brown. It's white versus black, but it's also a lot about superior versus peasant, as what they would call it. So that has to be addressed as well. But to wrap this up, five on the black hand side, I want to tell my people, I want to leave you with this. Continue to stay strong. If you've been watching my videos, melanated people, you got to understand that you're about to get an upgrade. You're about to get a spiritual upgrade. I'm talking levitation. I'm talking about telekinesis. You're about to get it all. Peep the signs. They're building second moons, and they're building artificial moons, and they're building artificial suns to block the sun that's about to come. Why? Because that energy, when it comes down to this planet, it's going to hit a certain group a type of way, and it's going to hit another group a different type of way. And if you actually do your research, for my people who don't like to read, you see that this is really the underline of what's going on. The beautiful sister Frances Cress Wilson said, really, this ain't about black and white. This is about survival to the European. If you guys have been watching my video, the Yakub video, the creator of the Caucasian race, 6,600 years ago. So I want you to continue to know your strength, melanated one. And for my people, my brown people, my indigenous people, but seriously, all my people outside of the melanated race, because we're all spiritual beings, we're all one. Know that this is not about hating the other person because of their color. We should be over this now. Especially in people living in poverty type of lifestyles, or low class, middle class people. We both been in a struggle together for decades. So how can you hate the fellow person? How can you hate the color of that person's skin when you both been through the same struggle? When your kids go through the same school? How can you hate that person because of their color when some of these grandparents used to hate black people? Some of these white parents used to hate black people. But then guess what? Their daughters start having babies by black. So guess what? Some of them said, you know what? How can I hate that? And they learn to love. Now that's powerful. The biggest secret of life is knowing how to love. Self-love first. Then once you know yourself, then you can give that unconditional love to people around you. So we're dead in racism. Because at the end of the day, what you're seeing on news and stuff, this is what they want to put in your head for you to outlash and for you to go ahead and do and kill that person and kill that person, kill that Asian man. This is a plot. This is Agent Smith, what they're doing right here. This is. So I want to say this. I want to end it with this on 5 in the black hand side. Black people, know that you are superior. Know that you are supreme. Know that. And at the same time, to my other races, we in this together. We cannot hate one another when we in this together. Our kids go to school together. How can you hate the color of my skin? How can I hate the color of your skin? But I can tell you what, I can hate what your race have done to my people, and you can too. I can hate what your race has done to my people, and you can too. So I thank y'all so much because I had to get this off my chest. A lot of people watch my channel. A lot of people watch my video, and I thank y'all. So a lot of us share the same energy because at the end of the day, like Frankie Beverly and May said, we are one. Through the collective, the individual will be realized, and through the individual, the collective will be realized. That's my quote. We are spiritual beings. That's why I go so hard on my religious folks. If you truly are spiritual and you truly are really deep in your religion, then you know that really the true path of religion was just to bring people that were distant in different areas and different regions together. The Tower of Babel separated everybody. That's one of the things that separated us. The language was separated. Religion really was meant to bring people together. That's why you see that mostly all the religions coincide with each other in similarity. So at the end of the day, I thank y'all for watching always. Continue to watch the Darius Corbin channel, one of the most infamous esoteric channels out. Continue to be safe, but also stay dangerous. Love one another. Be peaceful, but be prepared. Be peaceful, but be ready for war. So to my people, peace and love. It's Corbin. I'm out.